Welcome everybody, my name is Mr. Llama. Today I'm bringing you Winning with Ease PvP, defending against the Phoenix All-In. And so this is going to be Phoenix with 4 gateways, and of course going into the All-In. Sometimes of course you'll see people just open up into an expand off of Phoenix play, which is a decently strong opener. But if for some reason they choose to just go all-in, it can be extremely strong actually. So there was a slight pause and everything right there. So really quick update. I want to do new subscriber shout out, then information. So we'll get right on into that really quickly. Let's see. We have N1K1C4, McBurnier87, Purple Pal 12312, Tyler Boyd Rules, Peter T4, Sonak Patel, X Succession, Mr. Skolima, and Caution CU. So thank you guys very much for subscribing to my channel. And here is the big news of the day. By the way, I'm going to be opening up with a 3-stalker rush, very standard, but I'm going to be doing it into a blink stalker variation due to the scouting that I do see. So I love to just open 3-stalker rush anyways, save first 4-gate. Just a really strong opener. You can really you can expand off of that if you want. You can go for a 2-gate expand or something. You can go for, I mean, if you go for a 2-gate expand, generally you'll do like Zealot and then some stalkers behind it, or stalkers and then maybe some sentries with it, whatever it is. But yeah, so it's just, there's a lot of things that you can do after those 3 initials. So I am going to scout really quickly over here, check for a proxy, and then I'll also send a scout, or send the probe down here before I go to his base, just to kind of scout for any sort of, you know, general proxied things. Just good habit to do on a 2-player map. But so the big news is my birthday is tomorrow, right? And so I am going to be doing a nice little stream on my Twitch. If you haven't followed me on Twitch, twitch.tv/MrLlamaSC, go ahead and head over there. That's where I do most of the casting just in general. So I always cast all these videos there first, and then I upload them to YouTube. So you can get it like 5 minutes early. I don't know why this guy didn't mind. But you can do it like 5 minutes, you know, 5, 15, 10, 15, 30, whatever minutes early. You can get a sneak peek of what the next video is going to be if you do follow me there. As well, I do a little bit of streaming. I'm trying to do a little bit more of that. But as I said, tomorrow's my birthday, and so we are going to do a big little birthday bash. Big little, right? You like that? So it's going to be laser lights and DDR and StarCraft. I'll do a lot of analysis for some replays that people have sent me. I'm going to do just kind of like hanging out with everybody. MrLlamaSC is going to be there. She's a Silver League Terran player. I'm teaching her a lot about the game right now. How long until this dude mines again? Oh my gosh, that's awful. Don't idle the SCV. I can't even watch it. So we will go ahead and head over here. When we get back, he will be fine. So I'm looking and just kind of checking out his base, seeing what he's got going on. I see he's got that Zealot right there. As I said, I'm just opening up with my stalkers and start my second stalker, and then start my third one, of course, when this gateway finishes. And here I see he has a sentry. I see he does not have much energy right there. But sentry is a pretty good tell. Okay, that's not a 4-gate opening, plus of course all the double gas that he had been mining for so long. And so seeing double gas, seeing sentry, he was kind of chronoing that a little bit, but you know, overall I'm not too worried that this is going to be a 4-gate build. I will leave my probe over here and then put him on the SWAT tower a little bit later. So now that I know it's not going to be a 4-gate, and he does open up Stargate, of course, as you can see. I don't know that, but I can kind of assume it with the sentry opening. It kind of leads to a blind Stargate opening sometimes or you know, it could be a Stargate expand or a Stargate all-in, whatever it is. But a lot of times you will see that sentry out there. So I do get my second gas. I take a tiny bit to saturate this. Do not wait as long as I do, please. But I do get my Twilight Council down. So the only effects that this really has is that because I don't get this gas right here, and I do push out with my 3 stalkers as well because I want to do a little bit of damage, or at least a little bit of scouting. If I push up here and I see he's expanded, okay, I can go ahead and expand off of this and not be, you know, too far behind whatsoever and be a good position. But I get over there, I don't really see any expansion kind of going down. I'm going to start warping to my warp gates back home. I had a 3rd gate, and of course I'm going to be getting blink as soon as I do have the gas right there. So that's kind of the ramifications that happened due to not having enough gas. So he did fly his Phoenix around my base, so I knew he was going Phoenix right there as well. I saw that he had these 2 Zealots and 2 Stalkers, or 2 Sentries at the front. So I knew something kind of like Phoenix would be up. That's generally the play you'd see there. But of course, it was verified when I did see the Phoenix just flying around in my base. So now I can just kind of retreat home, and now I can go ahead and start expanding off of this. I do have the 3-gate blink right here, as I was saying. So I do have blink researching, I'm going to start chronoing that out. And of course, just getting some stalkers out. And so once I have enough stalkers, I can defend my mineral line here, of course. I can then go and take an expansion down on the low ground. So just continue to get pylons, not get supply blocked. And I should be taking my expansion soon, I would imagine. I might warp in a couple more stalkers and then get it. Yeah, so I'm going to warp in a couple more stalkers and then I'll go ahead and take my expansion here. So, as I said, nothing too crazy going on at this point. I just know he's opening up with those Phoenix. I didn't see a fast expansion out of him right there. As I said, I checked in with those stalkers. I saw a couple sentries and zealots, and then I did see the Phoenix fly over. So, a lot of times, if they are going for that Phoenix expand, it'll expand a lot earlier than that. Now, once he gets in here and kind of sees what I'm doing, he could choose to take an expansion. But in this case, he does not, and instead goes for the all-in, and here you can see as well that I am expanding. So I'm just going to continue adding on units now. I do have my Nexus going up here, down on the low ground, and I've kind of split up my units, as you can see. I do have Blink as well, so that's very important to note. And if I didn't have this expansion right here, I could, of course, go for some sort of heavy play against him. Maybe if he was going for an expand, I could try and, as soon as I get Blink, head over there to do some damage, whatever it is. But, I'm not going to, because, oh, what's this? I look out and I see his entire army is chilling right there. So now I know, it's time to bring my units down and start to do some damage right here. Start to get into a defensive position. Pylons finishing up, so I can start warping on the low ground. Make sure you're not getting supply blocked right there. And of course, once I do have these, you have to remember I do have Blink, so I can go ahead and start to be a little annoying towards his army and just start to kite it back, because, hey, I can just blink some units back from the front line right there. So some blinks will go down, and now he's going to start pushing forward. He's going to use all of these Phoenix to lift. Another thing that is indicative of him going for a Phoenix all-in is if he keeps adding Phoenix and keeps saving up the energy. So if he's not trying to sneak in and lift stuff up secretly or grab probes or whatever it is, if he's just going to continually stockpile the energy for all these lifts, that's something that you're definitely going to want to note. So here, you can see I'm able to somewhat clean it up. Of course, it's going to be close at this point because he's going for all in. I'm trying to expand, but I feel in a good position. I can start adding on some probes at this point. And of course, don't go too crazy with the probes. I just, wanted to add a couple in there because I felt a little safe. But, if you're getting all in, it's not a terrible idea to just keep making units. But once I had defended that attack pretty well, I felt pretty safe. And of course, he's going to come over here and start picking up some probes to do some damage. And I'm just going to be a little careful up here at the front and just pick off some zealots that are added into the army. So I have a stalker composition here, and I'm going to want to make sure I get probably a couple zealots in this. That'd just be a little bit better, but I do have the blink, so it is helpful to just kind of micro around. I could try and blink up here and take out these Phoenix, but that'd be a little risk right here, and actually it's just going to leave me in a fine position to just walk back, go for some defense, continue to blink back, and of course he's not going to be able to really have enough to do enough damage here. I am able to continue warping in some units, and that's just going to basically put him in a position where he really can't do too much right here. So he's just going to GG out and leave the game, and that's going to be a pretty simple hold. I don't want to say it's too awful. Big things to note are when I felt free to kind of go for the Twilight here and be safe. Why I kind of went for it, I saw double gas, I saw Stalker Sentry, and then I saw the 2 additional sentries down here. So that was really kind of assuring for me, saying, you know what, this is probably a Stargate opener. There's I'd say there's a 70, 75, 80% chance that it'd be a Stargate opener with that. If not, maybe it could be some weird warp prism play or something like that, or some tricky all-in that isn't very often seen. But I'd say a majority of the time that's going to say Stargate opener right there. And so opening up with that blink and then grabbing an expansion right beyond it, because if he does go Stargate, as we did see with his Phoenix, you can grab an expansion. That's just kind of something that he cannot stop you from doing. And so then, of course, he can try and push all in, as he did right there, and then you can just hold it with your composition, or he can just expand behind it, and then you're both pretty even. He might be a tiny bit ahead because he did go for 3-gate blink into Twilight, and you have to continuously be spending, stalkers or money on stalkers, minerals, and gas to protect against the Phoenix that are going to be picking away at your probes and stuff. So it's really not a terrible disadvantage, though, and you can just, there's a lot of places that you can just play it out, and the game will shift and everything. So were he not to go in, I'd get a robo, go ahead and start transitioning into that phase of the game, start adding Colossus to the army. But yeah, so that's going to be it. My name is Mr. Llama. I hope you guys learned something from this video, and I will see you guys next time. Or tomorrow at my birthday party.